Welcome in Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLugo. Thanks so much for tuning in here on Tuesday, March 25th. Good afternoon to all of y'all out there, all you Jags fans. Welcome in. Are the Jaguars any better than they were at the end of the 2024 campaign? We're taking a look at that. Kind of the state of the Jaguars right now. Free agency has come and gone, at least the wave one, big acquisition part of free agency. It's a little less than a month till the draft. Where is the Jaguars roster at right now before we enter the draft? Are they more talented? Are they better? Is the coaching better? We're going to take a look at all that right here, right now. Really appreciate y'all tuning in. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. You can also check out genjag.com/shop, pick up some new Duval gear. So is this roster more talented? Starting out on the offensive side of the ball, you basically swap out Mitch Morse, Brandon Sheriff, Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram for Robert Hainsey, Patrick McCary, Dyami Brown, and some rotational tight ends, and a couple of backup offensive linemen. Are they more talented? I think it's difficult to say that they're a more talented group. I honestly do. I think that they got less talented on the offensive side of the ball when you go player for player. Mitch Morse, probably more talented than Robert Hainsey. Brandon Sheriff, probably more talented than Patrick McCary. Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, probably both more talented than Dyami Brown overall. And certainly those guys are more talented than the rotational tight ends and the backup offensive linemen, right? I think that's fairly cut and dry. But they got younger. There's no question. They got younger, more fresh legs on the offensive line. They got deeper on the offensive line by adding 4 players with starting experience in this league. They got more versatile. Patrick McCary can play every position on the offensive line, and he can do it at a fairly high level. You look at Fred Johnson as well. He's played guard. He's played tackle. So they certainly got more versatile. I think that they got more cohesive. Robert Hainsey is someone who knows this offense, who has been featured in this offense. Worked with Liam Cohen last year. Only had one start. He was replaced in the starting lineup by rookie Graham Barton, who has a just unbelievable upside as a center, right? But Robert Hainsey, he has, in my opinion, the ability to play at a level that can get the job done both in the run game and pass game. And speaking of the run game, I think that Robert Hainsey and Patrick McCary are both better run blockers overall than their counterparts were, Mitch Morse and Brandon Sheriff, at this point in their careers. Again, McCary and Hainsey are younger, fresher legs. Sheriff and Morse were probably a little bit better in pass protection overall. Hainsey and McCary were probably a little bit better in the run game. A good bit better, honestly. And now one thing you want to say, and make sure you contextualize, the Jaguars got the ball out very quickly, a lot. Under Doug Peterson. And I think that's still going to happen a fair amount, which helps offensive linemen. But I think that in different situations, Mitch Morse and Brandon Sheriff last year maybe give up more pressures. Maybe the stats aren't as clean because of, again, the Jaguars were getting the ball out so quickly, so often, right? I think over the last several years, Sheriff has been very good in pass protection, but maybe not quite as elite as the pressure numbers would suggest. Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, while you look at those two players and you say, is Dyami Brown going to make up for those two guys? And you can clearly say the answer is no. Kirk was not available a whole lot the last 2 years. Evan Ingram missed a good chunk of last year. So when you're comparing the current Jaguars to the 2024 Jaguars, it's not like you really had Evan Ingram and Christian Kirk all that often. Certainly not on the field together all that often. And I like Dyami Brown. I really do. We've talked about that a good bit here. I think Dyami Brown, his, again, cohesion with this offense. Liam Cohen has an extensive screen game. Dyami Brown is really good with the ball in his hands. He's really good on screens. He's also got the deep speed to kind of help open things up, make the defense respect his speed and his vertical route running ability to help clear the way a little bit for Brian Thomas Jr., who else was really clearing out space for Brian Thomas Jr. to run more of the short and intermediate routes last year? It's a big case of absolutely no one, right? So I think offensively they got a little bit less talented so far, but more cohesive. And again, let's not forget the Jaguars have 10 picks in the draft, 6 in the first 4 rounds. I would imagine they're going to continue to get more talented on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, they basically lost Ronald Darby and Andre Cisco, added Eric Murray at safety, where Cisco leaves, added Jordan Lewis at corner. Ronald Darby vacated. You know, I still don't know that they have a quality outside corner. You can be optimistic and say whether it's Jarian Jones, Jordan Lewis, or a combination of both of them playing outside and inside, that they are better overall at the cornerback position, and I think that that's fair. But I think it's also fair to say you don't know how much better they are really at outside corner. They're certainly better at nickel. I mean, Jordan Lewis is one of the best nickel corners in the game, and Jarian Jones was playing his way. He looked like he was going to be one of these guys you build around in the nickel. The Jaguars have said they think they can both play outside. We're going to see what ends up happening there. Is Eric Murray a better football player than Andre Cisco? I think he played a little bit more consistently last year than Andre Cisco did. I also think that he was in a much better situation last year than Andre Cisco was. So I kind of look at that one as a wash. I think Cisco has a much higher upside. Eric Murray might be playing a little bit better at this point in his career. So I think defensively, it's basically a wash from a talent perspective. Moving into the 2025 NFL draft. Again, 10 picks. You're hoping to hit on a lot of those picks in the draft. I know some of them are going to be on the defensive side of the ball, and they might have some defensive picks very early. Again, 6 picks in the first 4 rounds. If they add, let's just say they hit on 4 out of those 6 picks, half of them are on offense, half of them are on defense, you're sitting in a very good spot. Again, that's pretty optimistic. You've never seen James Gladstone operate a draft as the lead dog, right? He's been a huge contributor to what the Rams have done over the last couple of years, which has been really impressive. But overall, this roster, I think, is less talented. We're going to continue talking about this a little bit here, but I want to remind y'all about Underdog Fantasy. Got to grab your phone and your dancing shoes. It's time to make entries on March college basketball with Underdog. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward. Signing up is even easier. Just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with promo code DuvalDaily, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. To play, choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats, i.e. points, assists, rebounds, and more. You already know, I've told you a lot. I'm selecting my Gator, Walter Clayton Jr., to go higher on points. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code DuvalDaily to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Must be 18 plus, 90 plus Alabama, Nebraska, 90 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus Massachusetts and Arizona. Present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. Arizona 1-800-NEXT-STEP. That's 1-800-639-8783 or text NEXT STEP to 53342. New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. So, as I said, I think in my subjective view and probably objectively as well, this team is slightly less talented, specifically on the offensive side of the ball, but much more cohesive, more versatile, right? I think the cohesiveness comes from the fits, the talent fits. We didn't really talk about the tight ends yet. The ability for Hunter Long and Johnny Munt to go out there and be blockers, for the Jaguars to get into heavy personnel with Brenton Strange, who I think was underutilized at times last year, who has a lot of talent. I think even though they might be less talented with Evan Ingram, they might be more productive overall. And that's not like more catches. That's just like getting the job done, helping this offense execute at a higher level. And again, I think Hainsey and McCary can do that as well, potentially, being able to run block at a higher level. If you're able to run the ball, it really helps out your entire offense. It helps out your entire team. And then Jordan Lewis, the energy that he brings is going to be massive. And his ability to lock it down Again, we're not exactly sure how the corners will be deployed there, but we'll find out more, certainly. But I think they're going to be a much, much better coached offense. I think that's one of the critical areas here. I can't pretend to know how Anthony Campanile will be as a defensive coordinator because he hasn't done it before. And I can't pretend to know how good of a head coach Liam Cohen will be. Defensively, when you look at Anthony Campanile, I think the talent is there for a good defense. You have your edge players. We've talked about the interior defensive line a lot. I think they're going to continue to address that. But you take Eric Armstead from edge 3 to IDL 1 or 2, and I think that makes a big difference, especially not coming off of a major injury the season before. I think Devon Hamilton not coming off of a major injury. I think Mason Smith going into year 2. I think you got Foye Oluokun, and you got a lot of other talented linebackers that you've drafted over the last couple of years that maybe they could take a step forward. And you look at Tyson Campbell, Jordan Lewis, Jarian Jones. There's some reasons to be excited about the defense. And if Anthony Campanile can get his message across to his guys, keep them focused a little bit more than last year, that's a huge step in the right direction right there. Maybe not have quite as many rotations. Obviously you're going to rotate the defensive front, but your best linebacker should probably be on the field on third down. Your leaders should probably be on the field on third down. Offensively, again, I think the coaching will be just huge. Liam Cohen will design a much better run game, and that's where it's going to start, right? A better designed and executed run game a big thing that Liam Cohen's going to bring here. He designed his run game last year around what they were doing well. I don't think that Doug Peterson really had the ability to do that at a high level. I just don't. Doug Peterson and Press Taylor, they didn't show that they could do that at a high level. Liam Cohen last year in Tampa had a plan with that run game. And again, that run game was one of the worst in the league the year before. He had a plan. That plan wasn't exactly working as well as some other things they were doing in the run game, not quite as much. And so they went to more of a gap power approach, and that became their bread and butter. And they ended up being one of the best running games in football. And you consistently hear from wherever he is, he's going to adjust what he's trying to do to suit the players that he has. And I think that is just so critical and so important. And then you also have, and why I'm talking about that in the run game, I think he's going to figure out how to unlock Travis Etienne a little bit. And, Etienne, vision, patience, these things have been kind of, up and down. Pass protection, a lot down. Bigsby, pass protection, fumbling, down, right? But these guys have talent. I think that you'll see more of that under Liam Cohen coaching them. And I think that you'll see a better, more cohesive run blocking offensive line as well. That's going to make things a lot easier for Trevor Lawrence just in and of itself. But then also the passing game will build off of what Trevor Lawrence does well, will build off what Brian Thomas Jr. does well, and it will also give them more easy buttons, right? There will be more motion. There will be more screens. There will be that better run game. There will be more of a focus on feeding Brian Thomas Jr. the football. I strongly believe in this offensive coaching staff. Again, whether or not Liam Cohen can handle all of the duties of a head coach, we haven't seen it. We don't know for sure. I think he can. But, I think Anthony Campanile can do it too. But last year we thought that about Ryan Nielsen, and where's he at right now? I strongly believe more weapons are incoming in the draft, and I strongly believe there is a lot more talent that's going to be added to the defensive front specifically, which gets me pretty excited. So we're going to see how it plays out. I feel that they are a better football team and headed in the right direction. Even if they didn't handle free agency exactly how I would have handled it, I think that they are moving in the right direction. These Jacksonville Jaguars, I think the draft is really going to show that. And then ultimately getting out on the field in September is what's going to prove or offer proof of concept here for the Jaguars. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Really appreciate y'all tuning in. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.